Welcome back, everyone, to Global War 1914, Operation Albatross. This is the start of the spring of 1915, and we'll kick it off here with Germany. Quite a bit to do in this turn, but before we get into Germany, wanted to go through some things as it pertains to the conclusion of last turn. First off, the United States forgot to roll a recruitment roll for the revolutionaries down in Mexico. So before we do anything, let's take care of that. And like usual, they need a 4 or less. And they miss with an 8. Okay. All right, so I think that was the only correction. The only thing that we forgot. Okay, so if you recall from the random events that we rolled for this season, it was quite a doozy. We had France take over ownership of Spain. So Spain joined the Allies and aligned to France. And so France has all of the Spanish territory, and despite all of it, it's only altogether only worth 2 IPP. So France moved up to 20 IPP income, whereas before they were at 18. So I've got all that set up, and then the other random event that happened in the East was Brazil aligned with the United States, and because the United States is not at war with a major power yet, Brazil is just U.S. controlled. So the Brazilian units will stay. And when the United States goes to war, if they decide to go to war, Brazil will then align to the United States, and all those units would become American. On the other hand, Germany was able to take over Chile and Argentina, and so I've got all the German units there, and this is going to open up a whole new theater for us because Brazil is at war with Argentina and Chile. And another aspect of this game too is that because Germany has territory now in South America, this is a violation of the Monroe Doctrine. And so the United States can legally send down their own units to try and take the Argentinian and Chilean territory and basically occupy it for themselves without an official declaration of war against Germany. So the United States of America is not going to be able to wage war against Germany, but at least not in the entire scope of the world, but they will be able to engage German forces down here in South America and enforce the Monroe Doctrine. So yeah, this is going to add a really cool side aspect to this game, and we'll see how it plays out. I'm thinking if there's anything else that I need to cover. I don't think so. Not off the top of my head. So let's get right into German purchases. And I think we had 45 to spend. We're going to spend 2 of it on diplomacy. We're going to go for Norway and the Netherlands. And then the rest of it, we got a hodgepodge of different things here. We're going to go for 2 colonial troops for $4. We're going to we're going to upgrade a militia down in Chile to an infantry for 2. We're going to purchase a cavalry. We're going to place that down into the South African Union for $4. We're going to move up a dreadnought from stage 3 to stage 2, and that's going to be $4. We're going to lend lease an artillery to our brothers there in Austria-Hungary. That's going to cost us $5. We're going to purchase a 1916 fighter for $3. And then last but not least, we're going to purchase 7 infantry, and that's going to cost us $21. Okay, let's roll for our diplomacy, and after that we'll roll for technology. We do have 3 major factories now. They're in Berlin, West Germany, and Bavaria. So we will get 3 tech rolls, which is going to be nice. And I think we're going to go for... Well, we got to go for wartime economy, for sure. I think we're going to go for defense in depth. We got to get that up. We're only at stage 1. And then we'll go for counter battery fire. Okay. Let's roll for diplomacy first. Well, I guess technically you're supposed to roll for tech first, so let's do that. All right. We've got wartime economy here in the yellow. Defense in depth will be in the black. And counter battery fire, we'll make it the red. All right, so counter battery, we need a 6 or higher. And then the other two, we need a 7 or higher. Okay, ow, wow, we hit on all 3 of them. Nice. That makes up for a lot of the misses that we've been rolling the past couple turns. So, all right, so we move to stage 3 for counter battery, stage 2 for defense, and stage 3 for wartime economy. All right, fantastic. Okay, now we can do diplomacy. So let's start out with Norway. We're currently at stage 1 with Norway, so let's try to get to stage 2. Need a 3 or less. Nice, a 1. All right. So Norway will move to stage 2, and we'll be able to collect income from trade with them for that at the end of the turn. And then here's the Netherlands. They're also at stage 1. See if we can't get them to stage 2. And not even close. Roll to 12. Okay, let's come over here and sort out our combat moves. All right, we'll start out with an easy one here. We've got a torpedo boat destroyer here in port in Constantinople. He is going to come out and join the Austro-Hungarian fleet. And they're in M7. All right, and that's a combat move technically because there's a British coastal sub right there that the British player would have the option to attack if they wanted to. Another thing that I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video was that several neutral countries here in the spring of 1915 got free units to be placed on the board. So let's see if I can remember them off the top of my head. Portugal got a free militia. Brazil got a free militia in Rio de Janeiro. Let's see, who else? Bulgaria, they actually got another pre-dreadnought, so that went there in M10. They also got a free infantry, so they're up to 6 now. They're in Bulgaria. Let's see. Spain would have gotten some units, but because Spain, during the random events, before the phase that you place down the free neutral units at the beginning of the spring of 1915, because the random events happened before that, France is not going to get those units. So because Spain no longer exists. Norway, they got some free units too. They got a free cruiser and also a free militia there in southern Norway. And I think that's it. I think that's all of the free units. Oh, the Netherlands. The Netherlands actually got a free second naval transport. So that's sitting there off of their coast. They're in the the southern portion of the North Sea. Okay. Oh, I think Romania got something too. Romania got a cruiser. So they just had a torpedo boat destroyer before, now they have a cruiser. So I think that is it. Okay. More combat moves. So the rest of our moves are going to be over here. We've got some on the Western Front, some on the Eastern Front. We're going to try and take back Congress of Poland, and we're going to send in an infantry from Eastern Germany. I think we'll send in maybe half of our infantry there in Prussia, and they will be subject to river crossing, and we're going to send in all the artillery that we have from Poland into Congress of Poland, and our Warsaw rather, and then I think that's going to be it. So it's going to be a total of 4 infantry, 4 artillery, 3 regular artillery, 1 heavy artillery, and see if we can't take Congress of Poland back. And then we're also going to take a seaplane out of Western Germany. He's going to go on map, and we're going to try and sink that Russian submarine. And then our final move is going to be to take our forces in Belgium, thrust them into Lorraine, and then, or not Lorraine, but Picardy, and then take some forces from Lorraine and also aid in the attack there in Picardy. Okay, let's get to rolling. We'll start off with the seaplane that's there in the Baltic Sea. See if we can get a 3 or less to sink that Russian coastal sub. And we roll a 6, so he will submerge. And I'm going to get a marker out for that. And then the seaplane's just going to go back to Western Germany. All right. What do we have next? Let's go Congress of Poland, try and take that back. So we've got 3 regular artillery, and they're going to be at a 4. And there's a hit. Wow, we got 3 hits. Oh, man. Okay, so yeah, that was pretty quick. All right. So we take back Congress of Poland. That's worth $1. So we move up to 46 on the IPP chart. Russia moves down to 15. Okay. Now let me set up the battle for Picardy. Okay, so the French have 8 infantry, and they do have a trench line, so they're going to be defending at a 6. And of course, if the Germans are unsuccessful in breaking the trench line after the first round of combat, then we have to retreat. Likewise, the British have 3 infantry, and they will be defending at a 4. So the British, they don't get to join in on the French trench line. They have to develop their own trench line separately in order to get the benefit of the defensive boost. And then the British also have a fighter, and he's going to be defending at a 2. And the only eligible unit that he will be able to shoot down will be the observation balloon. Okay. Get all the German pieces here. I highly suspect that we're going to have to retreat regardless, because the British, the French are going to choose to take the British troops first so that they can maintain their trench line as long as possible. So I don't suspect that the Germans are going to be able to take Picardy. So I'm just trying to decide if I want to send everything in from Lorraine, because if we do end up taking Picardy, that's going to leave Lorraine empty. We're definitely going to send in all the artillery. So that's going to be 7 artillery, 2 heavy artillery. 1 will get boosted to a 7 because they'll pair with the observation balloon. And then I think we'll send in a total of 9 infantry. So just so it's 1-to-1 with the artillery. So we have 7 currently in Belgium. Yeah, 7 currently in Belgium, and then we'll just send 2 over. That way we still maintain the trench line regardless. There in Lorraine. I think that'll be the play. Okay. All right. Let's see. Hopefully we can get some artillery first strike hits here. It's going to be important for us. So we've got 7 artillery at a 4. Oh, wow. We got 4 hits. Nice. Okay. We've got a heavy artillery at a 6. That's another hit. Nice. And then we got another heavy artillery at a 7. Nice. Oh, wow. Well, that went pretty well. That's 6 total hits. Man, okay, so before we roll for the infantry, the Allies have some losses to account for. And, of course, the 3 British infantry are going to go by the wayside along with the fighter. All right, so that's 4 casualties. And then that'll take off 2 French infantry. So they are now down to 6. So they're barely holding on to the trench line. And the Allies don't have any artillery to fire back yet. So let's go straight to the infantry for the Germans. We have 9 at a 3. All right, 9 infantry at a 3. They're all being boosted by the artillery, and I don't see any terrain debuffs. 2 hits, okay. 2 hits. Not a total disaster. So that will eliminate the French trench line and guarantee that we can go on to a second round and a third round if we want to. The French have 6 infantry at a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. Oh, man. Okay. So 2 more French infantry will come off. That will put them down to 4. And their defense will go down to a 4. And the Germans need to account for 4 losses. We're going to take off 2 artillery and 2 infantry. Okay. Now we can go on to round 2. Let's push it. Let's see how we do here. Now we have 7 infantry at a 3. One, 2. That one's cocked. Well, it would have been it. Oh, we'll re-roll it. I mean, that's cocked. Okay, so there's 2 hits, and then here's the other one, and that's barely a miss. Okay. We got artillery here. We only need 2 more hits to take over Picardy here, so this is actually going a lot better than I thought it would. 4, 5, so we've got 5 artillery out of 4. There's 1 more hit. Okay. And then we have a heavy artillery at a 6. And there's the final hit that we need. All right. And then he's got 4 infantry out of 4. And he does get a hit. Okay. Let's see. What do I want to do? I'm going to lose an artillery. I don't want to lose an infantry. Infantry are very valuable, especially for defense. Even though artillery is more expensive to replace, I think I'm going to opt to lose the artillery. Okay. And then, of course, all the French guys are gone. All right, well, that went pretty well for Germany, I'd say. And now all of these guys will go into Picardy. And I'm going to get a roundel out for Germany. Picardy is worth 1 IPP. No? Wow. It's worth 3. Holy cow. All right, so Germany will go up to 49. France will go down to 17. Man, Germany is in big time lead. Okay, now we've got some non-combat to do. And then we've got to remember, we don't have any moves down here in Mexico. We're just going to do our recruitment roll and be on our way. Okay, non-combat. So we have a seaplane here in Kaiser Wilhelm Land. He's going to come out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and he will go into what is it? German Shantung, there in China. Okay. Next up, we have down here in South America, a cruiser comes out of port in Chile, comes over 1, 2 into A47, and joining him out of port will be a dreadnought, a pre-dread, and another cruiser. And this should form a blockade on the port there in Rio de Janeiro. So if the U.S. wanted to send any Lend-Lease down there, I mean, I guess they could send it to another port up here. Well, they can't send Lend-Lease right now. They're not at the IPP level they need to be at yet. So, but if they're controlled, Mexico they control too. So I would think that they would be able to send Lend-Lease to Brazil. Well, I'll look into that off camera. But if they can send Lend-Lease, they would be able to send it here instead of to Rio de Janeiro. So it's really only blocking these 2 ports. Well, I guess technically this one too, and this one. So, yeah, they could still receive Lend-Lease. It just wouldn't be down here on the front lines. All right, we also have 2 infantry. They're going to come out of Buenos Aires and go into, what is that, Gran Chaco. 2 more infantry from Chile will go into Gran Chaco, along with 1 infantry from Patagonia. Okay. In order for us to collect the IPP here, we're going to have to place down some colonial infantry that we purchased earlier in the turn. And we have a factory here, so we could build an infantry or a cavalry, and it would consume a factory slot and a manpower slot as well. But we could do that. Okay, I think... Oh, we got some non-combat moves up here in Germany proper. So let's take... a Jaeger, and he's going to go down into Austria. One infantry is going to go from Bavaria into Lorraine. And then 2 infantry is going to go from Western Germany into Belgium. All right. Now we can place some units. And starting out, we'll go ahead and deal with South America here. We've got a colonial troop in Buenos Aires, colonial troop in Patagonia. Let's go ahead and deliver our Lend-Lease. So it has to go to kind of the closest territory where it's being produced. So we're just going to put it into Bohemia. Like, we can't Lend-Lease it all the way down to like Bosnia or, you know, anywhere down there. Okay. Let's see what's next. We have a fighter, and he'll be produced at a factory in Bavaria. No, I'm going to produce him at the factory in Western Germany. Our dreadnought will move up to stage 2. And we got to remember to roll for Mexico. I'm going to do that because otherwise I'm going to forget. I'm so bad. Oh, I'm so bad about forgetting recruitment rolls. All right, need a 4 or less. And that's a miss with a 6. Okay. Now, Brazil will get a recruitment roll on the U.S. turn, so I'll have to remember to do that. Okay, back to placing units. We have a militia upgrade here in Chile to an infantry. Okay. We have a cavalry that will go down here in South African Union. And then all we have left are a bunch of infantry to place down. So we got 7 total infantry. One's going to go into East Prussia. One will go into East Germany. So that leaves us with 5. I'm actually going to put 2 in East Germany. Well, I could put 1 in Warsaw. Yeah, I'm still going to put 2 in East Germany. I'm going to put 1 as well in Warsaw. And he can be produced at the factory there and consume that manpower slot. And that will give us a trench line in Warsaw. All right, so now we have 3 left. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, we have 3 left. And they are all going to go down into West Germany. Oh yeah, and our ships get repaired. So all of our dreadnoughts get repaired. Forgot to do that. That happens at the beginning of the turn. However, you can't use repaired ships on the turn that they get repaired. I have to wait until next turn before I can move them and use them in combat, or basically do anything else with them. So repairs consume the whole turn. Okay. I think that will do it. Let's go and see how much income we collect. It's going to be over 50, I know that much. So our base is 49. We spent every dollar that we had in the bank. So our base is 49. We collect 2 from trade, 1 from Mexico, and 1 from Norway. So that's 51. And then Western Germany is no longer blockaded. So I think we collect 2 from that. And Sweden and Norway are still neutral, so we collect another 1 from that, so that's 3. And we still don't have a railway path to southern Iraq, so we don't collect anything from that. So we gain an extra 5 total. So that will put us up to 54. And we will have 54 in the bank for next turn, and that will do it for Germany. Next up will be Great Britain. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, take it easy. Bye for now.